What is up, you guys? Today I'm doing another salmon fishing video. Where I will be talking about like specific depths that you should be using, specific patterns or different lures. This is for like all of the salmon lures in general. I'll just be talking to you about like which depths to be using them at, and if you should be using a lure at a certain place or a certain time. I will be teaching you stuff. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna get into really quick, it's kind of obvious, but it's the plugs. Um, you could run this on a rigger, but you don't run these on dipsies. But on lead core, these are really good. I'm not sure about like a 300 copper because I personally don't use copper. I never have. But this one is definitely a good one for putting on a lead core or a board. Which is really good for because it's on the high lines, where like it's just it's around the top of the water, like maybe it's like 5 feet down. But overall though, yeah, this all plugs really you want to use it around that depth and it's pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna get into paddles and stuff. So here's the thing about these, alright? You can technically run these anywhere, but to be honest, what I've done mainly though is I run these on dipsies. I would not recommend running these on like a board or something because every time I've tried to run paddles like this on a board, they've always gotten tangled up with the fly and stuff. Um, and overall though, it seems like they do better the deeper that you put them. They do better. So overall though, these are dipsy lures pretty much. And I would recommend running these on dipsies and dipsies only. But anyways, you guys, let's move on to the next one. So, for spin doctors and flies, it goes for the same thing for everything. But with spin doctors for meat rigs, it's pretty much the same. You want to run them on dipsies and dipsies only, because if you run them anywhere else, they could risk getting tangled. But also that they typically work better on dipsies or out deep or far off of your boat. Typically, meat rigs work the best way out. Like if you put them out, like I don't know, 100 feet or so. But also that depends on your depth and what the dipsy is set to, or the deeper diver or whatever you're using. But overall though, meat rigs are the exact same as like regular paddles and flies. But also this one's a killer if you pair it with a pickled sunshine fly or a mirage fly. Don't forget that. So make sure you pair it with something if you don't plan on using meat. But overall though, I like this combo, but I do think that usually I pair it with a mirage fly and it works pretty good. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we're moving on to spoons. This is you could run these anywhere without a doubt. But this is like more specifically about patterns and that kind of stuff. The first one that we're gonna put is Green Jeans from Dreamweaver Lures. This one though, I would mainly recommend like put it on like a if you put it on a board or a rigger. I don't run spoons on dipsies because they're a little bit heavier than the flies, and it can make like stuff run a little bit more weird. It can make things a little weird on the dipsy. So I really like to prefer to run flies and meat rigs on the dipsies, but for down riggers and boards, I love to run spoons, and that's it really. But overall, though, on copper, I'm not really sure what you can run. But of course, because I've never used copper really, I don't plan. Maybe I plan on it. It's not really a guarantee though. But Green Jeans is by far better when you put it on a rigger or on a board. Overall, though, I've gotten pretty good luck on a rigger. But overall, though, let's move on to the next one. All right, so the next one we're using is called Mountain Dew from Creative Touch Lures. This one you may have to order it online because there's not a lot of stores that have them. In the further south you go, more the less likely you'll see them. But anyways, Mountain Dew from Creative Touch Lures. This one is kind of versatile. You could either put it on a board or on a downrigger. Either of those two are by far the best options. Um this one though has typically thrived on a rigger the best in Lake Superior, And in Lake Michigan, it's been pretty good on both. But overall, I would recommend using this one if you can. Um, this one has been one of my favorite spoons forever. It will reach the top 10 this year. I'm kind of spoiling it, but anyways, yeah, this one is awesome, and I would honestly say that I really like it, and on Lake Superior, it's by far the best spoon, or it's one of the best spoons on Lake Superior. My bad. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. The next one is Radioactive from Mr. Chrome Lures. We this one thrives on a rigger and a rigger only. This is a deep warrior. Because we've ran it on a rigger and also on a board, and it thrived on the rigger way better because it's almost like for some reason when you're passing the salmon, for some reason they think that this is like food down there, and this one thrives really good down deep. So I would recommend this one for a rigger. You can put it on a board, but we didn't get anything when we ran it on a board. So I would recommend running this way out deep if you can. But anyways, you guys, let's move on to the next one. The next one is Chili Willy. You can run this pretty much anywhere and it'll work. You can run this on a board or a rigger, but you have to have this spoon if you're fishing in Lake Michigan. There's no doubt. Mixed veggie. Personally, I have ran this on pretty much every single line. I used to run spoons on dipsies. But I just don't like to really anymore. But overall though, this one though is by far the best on a rigger. I've had by far the best luck on a rigger, to be honest with you. But I feel like on a board in Lake Superior, this could work really good. But overall though, on a rigger, I've had by far the best luck in Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and also in Lake Superior. I've had the best luck with this on a rigger. But anyways, you guys, let's move on to the next one. The next one is one of my favorite lures of all time. The original Bloody Nose from Moonshine Lures. Overall though, this thing you could put it on a board or a rigger. I like it the best on a rigger. I've always got them. But overall though, this is one of my favorite spoons of all time. I can say that it is my favorite of all time. My dad doesn't really like it that much anymore, but I love it so much. But overall though, this one is very good for on a rigger or on a board, but I personally love it on a rigger. That's usually where I put it. If I do put it on a board though, I probably will get fish as well. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. The next one is Super Screw from Silver Streak Lures. Overall though, this one, it's not a glow. Nor is Mixed Veggie. Chili Willy does glow, but only for like 10 minutes. And nor is Mountain Dew. None of those are glows. Sorry for not telling you. But this isn't a glow. But overall though, it is a awesome daytime lure. So you want to run this on a high line because if you run it at the bottom or like super deep, there is a chance that there's not going to be enough sun to reflect off of it to where the fish could see it super good. But overall though, on a high line, this is by far the best. On a board, this is probably one of my favorite lures ever. This is my favorite Silver Streak lure ever, no doubt. But overall though, yeah, this thrives on a board. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next one is Blue Jeans. It's the same thing as Green Jeans, but in a blue, and it's kind of like this is a bright red instead of a black. But overall though, this has thrived on a high line. We caught I'd say around a 13-pound lake trout on it this spring. And overall though, we have caught a lot of trout on this before. This is mainly a trout thriver. Maybe in August you could catch salmon on it, but mainly though we've caught trout. And overall though, I really like this lure. And because I love lake trout, I love salmon, I love steelhead. Steelhead's usually on the drier side, but it's still alright. But overall though, I love this one for going salmon fishing. And I use this a lot when I want to catch trout. But overall though, this is the best on a board. The last one is a RV Bloody Nose. This is overall though, this is one of the best lures ever. Or like it's the same thing as this one, but with some RV tape on it, which is like the shiny stuff right there. If you don't know what RV stuff is. But overall though, this is I like this one better personally because it's worked better, or it's worked great for longer, but they both worked about the same last year. But overall though, I truly love this one as well. But my favorite though is still the original. This one will be higher than top 8. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I ranked this in top 8 in the top 10 salmon spoons of last year. But anyways, you guys, we are going to put this away. And that will conclude it for this video, you guys. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you later. But also, before I end the video, because we're nearing the end, I do need to say some things, or I need to tell you about some meat rigs that Dark Blue Adventures said worked really good that I didn't mention yesterday. Or I think I mentioned them yesterday, but I want to tell you again. And remember, meat rigs are always deep on dipsies, or they thrive the best there. But overall, though, one of them is called Meatheads, which is made by Dreamweaver, and it's Pickled Sunshine, which is the same company that makes the Pickled Sunshine fly. And I can bet that that Pickled Sunshine meat rig is gonna kill them. The next one though is kind of hard to find. It's called Meatheads, and it's Dream or Green Mile. It's been hard to find over the past few years, Dark Blue Adventures said. So don't sweat it though if you can't find that one, because Pickled Sunshine is probably the best meat rig ever. I've never tried it, but I am going to try it this August. There's not a doubt about that. And I think that that's going to be the best meat rig. Then the last one though is GRC SSRD stud meat rig. Those three, I think those three I've heard have been working really good for the past few years. And so anyways, you guys, that will conclude this video. If you want to show some support and let me know if you like the videos of salmon fishing, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for 300 subscribers. Again, I can't thank you enough. But anyways, guys, I'll see you later. And until then, goodbye.